Chapter 4. The scream tore through my throat, a ragged sound that ripped me from the clutches of the nightmare. My eyes snapped open, wide and wild, to find Ella's face inches from mine. She was perched on the edge of the chair beside my bed, her hand clasped around mine, her eyes wide with a worry that mirrored my own terror. "Are you okay?" she whispered, her voice laced with fear. I couldn't speak, my tongue felt thick, a foreign object in my mouth. The dream was a raw wound, so vivid that the phantom pain still pulsed on my face, a burning echo of what I had seen. Scrambling from the bed, I stumbled towards the mirror, my reflection a desperate necessity. This time it was really me. The familiar contours of my face stared back, and the overwhelming relief broke the dam within me. Tears, hot and heavy, streamed down my cheeks. What could such a dream possibly mean? The question echoed in the cavern of my mind, a chilling whisper. I was utterly shaken, the day blurring into a meaningless haze. Ella's gentle urgings to eat, to drink, fell on deaf ears. Nothing felt real. My entire body ached, a deep, unsettling throb I couldn't explain. I felt a profound sense of betrayal, of being cheated, alone in a vast, desolate landscape. The urge to vent, to scream about the injustice of it all, was a desperate clawing in my chest, but to whom? And what would I even say? A wave of self-pity washed over me. How had I, loveth, found myself in such a mess? The man who consumed my every waking thought might not even remember my name. That night I succumbed to sleep on an empty stomach, haunted by the ghostly memory of a breakfast that had never been served. The next time consciousness flickered, the sterile scent of antiseptic filled my nostrils. I opened my eyes to the unfamiliar sight of a hospital room, a stark white ceiling above me. I had no recollection of how I'd arrived here. Then I saw Ella, slumped in a chair by my bedside, her face etched with exhaustion, shadows beneath her eyes. "You didn't wake up the next morning," she murmured, her voice raspy as if she hadn't slept in days. "I was so scared. I had to call the neighbors for help. The doctor said you had a high fever." A sharp pang of guilt pierced me. Ella, my steadfast friend, had been shouldering the burden of my existence. I had been unconscious for 2 days. The realization sent a fresh wave of self-loathing through me. I felt terrible for myself, but even worse for Ella, whose worn-out face was a stark reminder of my selfishness. Lying in that hospital bed, weak and vulnerable, I made a silent, solemn vow. I would exorcise these toxic, undeserved feelings for Tobi. "To hell with the useless gift," I muttered, the words a raw whisper. I convinced myself it was merely a myth, or perhaps I had misinterpreted its power. "I won't let this ruin me," I repeated, a desperate mantra against the encroaching darkness. From that day on, every fiber of my being was dedicated to forgetting him. But how long, I wondered, could such a fragile promise truly last? Before we continue, please leave a comment and subscribe. Most importantly, don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you. Barely 2 weeks had passed since my solemn vow when fate, with its cruel sense of humor, brought him back into my life. I was on my way home from the supermarket, my arms laden with groceries, when his sleek car pulled up beside the curb. He waved, his smile as bright and captivating as I remembered. Something deep within me screamed to keep walking, to ignore the pull, but my feet were rooted to the spot. I desperately, shamelessly wanted to see him. "Hi, how are you doing? You're loveth, right?" he asked, his grin infectious, a charm I found utterly irresistible. "Yes," I managed, trying to sound nonchalant, to hide the tremor in my voice. He asked if we could have dinner, and before I could even process the words, I was in his car, heading towards a very fancy restaurant. We ate, talked, and laughed, the conversation flowing effortlessly, as if we had known each other forever, as if no time had passed at all. That night, that single, intoxicating date, marked not just a reunion, but the treacherous, irresistible beginning of our affair.